Here are 10 songs for you to use to see how good your stereo sounds. So let's get started. So these are in no particular order. First up is Lonely Woman in a Black Dress by the Hollies. When the drums kick in, do you hear about 3 seconds of decay? You should. And then when the guitar kicks in at 15 seconds, how does it sound? Turned up at about 90 dB. Is it harsh? Does it sound If so, that's not a good sign. And then when the vocals kick in, same exact thing. This song has actually a harsh guitar and harsh vocals. It's a fantastic song, but it's just not mixed particularly well. A great stereo will smooth all that out. So if you hear harshness to the point where you're like, I need to turn this down, not a good sign. Next up is a song called Sting in the Tail by the Scorpions. This is the unplugged version. On the unplugged version, go roughly to 50-some seconds when the music kicks in. You're going to hear a kick drum. Does that kick drum sound like it's kind of dispersed or exactly at your speaker, or does it sound straight in front of you and like it's hitting you in the face? Because it should. And does it sound real? Does it sound kind of muddled and muted, or does it sound like there is really a drummer sitting in front of you? Turned up to about 90 dB, that should sound like a real drummer. Also, can you distinguish that kick drum from the bass line? There's a bass guitar playing. It's very subtle, but it plays on top of that kick drum. Can you sit there and hear, oh, that's the guitar, bass guitar, and that's the kick drum? If you can, you got a pretty good stereo. Next up is Blue by the Jayhawks. This one is pretty simple. When the vocals kick in, how many singers do you hear? Do you just hear one vocal track, or do you hear 2 different voices singing directly on top of each other? Next up is a song called Union Sundown by Bob Dylan. How do the drums sound? Do they sound real, or do they sound like a drum machine? Could someone convince you that that's a drum machine? It's not a drum machine, those are real drums. You should be able to hear the resonance of the snare. You should be able to hear the ringing of the hi-hat. This is a very well produced song, and it kind of gives it an artificial feel. Plus, on top of that, in the verse, there is a bass guitar just playing quarter notes that land right on top of the snare, which gives it a more artificial feel. So what do you hear? Next up is the song Lemon by U2. This one's pretty simple. In the beginning, when he says lemon, and then it's lemon, 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 lemon. You hear it echo several times. And you don't have to crank up the volume to hear it. You get a moderate volume on a really good stereo. You sit there and you can hear all those echoes. And then around 46 seconds, I believe the lyric is, he ends on cry, and it's cry, cry, cry. How many times do you hear it echo out? Just once or several? Next up is a song called Waste a Moment by Kings of Leon. Kings of Leon is a 2-guitar band, and they love to play different parts very subtly in the song. On this song, can you hear the 2 guitar parts? Can you tell the difference? Even at a moderate volume without cranking it up, can you sit there with your eyes closed and be like, oh yeah, I hear that guitar, and I hear that guitar, and I can tell that they're playing different stuff? Because if you can, you got a pretty good stereo. Next up is the song Hustle and Cuss by the Dead Weather off the album Sea of Cowards. This entire album has a lot of echo, reverb, decay, whatever that really is going on there. And this song has a lot of it. And in the beginning of the song, there's a bass. Does that bass sound just very staccato, like just, or do you hear, do you hear that decay on the bass? A great stereo will allow you to hear at a moderate volume even that decay. And then when the guitars and the drums kick in, those become more obvious. But how well do you hear it even at a moderate volume? And then can you distinguish the decay from each instrument? A great stereo will allow you to hear all that. Now we have the song Abracadabra by the Steve Miller Band. When he's playing the riff, like in the beginning, the ba-ba-bump, ba-ba-bump, do you hear that ba-ba-bump, ba-ba-bump, or do you hear boom-boom-bump, boom-boom-bump? You should hear some down here, the bass guitar, boom, 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 is in there. This whole song is actually relatively thin, or thin sounding, if played on a mediocre or less stereo. If you're playing this on a really good stereo, you will hear defined deep bass. It is in there. You just need a really good stereo to bring it out to you. And now we have Charlie Don't Surf by The Clash. In the beginning, there is a piano that just plays some nonsensical stuff. It's like clang, clang, clank. Is that what you hear? Do you hear clank, 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 or do you hear blong, blong, blong? You should hear it down here. You should hear it deeper. It should have some resonance and sustain. If it's up here and sounds annoying, not a good sign. Your stereo may not be doing everything other stereos can. And then when the vocals kick in, it's the same question as earlier. Can you hear there's two different people singing? If you're a Clash fan, you should know the difference between Joe Strummer's voice and Mick Jones's voice. Can you hear them both? They're both in there. And even if you're not a Clash fan, could you tell that there were two different singers singing the exact same words? If you can, well, that's good. You got a pretty good stereo. And finally, we have the song Ship of Fools by World Party. This is a very well-produced song, and you should be able to hear, when that piano plays at the beginning, you should be able to hear the decay of those piano notes until he plays again. All that should decay out. A mediocre or less stereo, you're just going to hear the notes. That's going to be it. You should be able to pick up that decay. Same for the guitar. You should be able to hear its decay out. You should be able to very easily distinguish between the piano and the guitar and pinpoint them in the mix and be like, yeah, I can tell the difference. And the guitar and the piano shouldn't be able to just sound like they're coming out of one speaker or the other. It should sound blended, all coming straight at you. So I believe that is 10 songs. Thanks for watching, and if you're interested in what vintage stereos sound like and how they sound compared to each other, check out my other videos on the channel. And be sure to subscribe. Thanks.